Welcome to the Every Day is a New Day podcast and live show, the inspirational show about moving forward and choosing to be more of you, transmuting the self-doubt and stepping into courageously aligned confidence in who you uniquely are. My name is Kim O'Neill. I'm a twice certified transformational confidence coach, Reiki master, best-selling author, and former crime analyst who now helps empathic, heart-centered individuals shatter the noise of self-doubt, find clarity on what self-love really looks like, and the courage to be peacefully grounded in who you've always known you are, from the inside out. Join me for the live shows on Facebook and YouTube, and visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com for more info. Let's get to it. All right, welcome everybody. We have another fantastic guest today on the Every Day is a New Day show. And joining me is Mary Marshall. Welcome, Mary.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. And let me just first say, your background is gorgeous.
Thank you. It's wallpaper. Look, I'll show you. Look at this. It like keeps going. There's bugs and flowers. And yeah, I almost ripped out all the cords, so I'm going to stop. But yeah, it's like the best wallpaper ever. I feel like a fairy.
It really is. It's very stunning. And actually someone commented too, like all the green, they really liked it too. And I was like, I know, right? So anyway, it's beautiful. Good choice for a photo.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so Mary, how I like to do this is I typically introduce my guest to the audience by reading a little bit of your bio to everyone, just to help fill anybody in who's just getting to meet Mary for the very first time. And then we're going to get into our conversation, talk about the leading edge of the sales industry, which I'm really excited to delve into. So let me bring up your bio right here. And just going to share a little bit about Mary. So Mary Marshall Forrest lives on the leading edge of the sales industry. As a behavioral change expert and award-winning executive, Mary believes the only way to break your sales plateau is to completely change the way you look at sales. And that means an extreme focus on pulling the future of sales into the present. Mary's mission is to give every sales professional, manager, and executive the tactical, real-world knowledge so they can remove any limiting beliefs keeping them from breaking their plateaus. In the course of that decades-long mission, Mary has trained billion-dollar companies and everyone from high-powered CEOs to frontline salespeople to increase their effectiveness by driving more profit. She's established her speaking and training careers as a top 1% sales professional, but quickly realized that something the rest of the training industry had yet to understand, and that was simply that the sales techniques, I'm fumbling all over my words, Mary.
It's perfect.
Okay, we're in the home stretch here. So she quickly realized, because this is like some of the best stuff. She quickly realized something the rest of the training industry had yet to understand. And that was that the sales techniques widely taught at conferences and seminars were installing mental limitations in others and not removing them. And I'm going to leave it at that. So she's going to talk to us more about that, how we can shatter every one of your goals, get rid of those limiting beliefs, and really talk about the leading edge of the sales industry. So Mary, this is exciting. I know I told you right before we started that, sales, is for some people maybe an exciting topic, and others a very dry, not so fun subject. But you make it fun. I can already see and hear that. How did you get to this place of delving into sales and looking at it differently?
I've been in sales my whole life. My whole family is in sales. And so I didn't know growing up that sales was this like dirty, sleazy thing. Nobody told me. And it was really funny that, when I got my first sales job, and I was so proud, and I, went to my friends and said, guess what? I'm a sales rep. And my friend looked at me and said, Mary, I just don't see you as a sales rep. And it totally crushed me because, I grew up, my dad was a sales executive. And so we grew up always having, people on his sales team coming over for dinner and spending time with us. And I remember one time, I was probably 15, 16 years old, and somebody was coming over for dinner. And I said, Mom, tell me about the guy coming over for dinner. And she said, well, he's your typical sales rep. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she's like, he's he's smart and he's funny and he's sharp and he really cares about helping people. And he finds like very creative solutions to help people get to their goals. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't think about it again. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there at, 21 years old. And my friend says, I don't see you as a sales rep. And I said, what do you mean? And he's like, well, because you're smart and you're funny and you care about people and you're creative and you want to have solutions. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like everybody doesn't believe the same way that I do. And I realized that. And what's really funny to me is that for the stage of the last 10 years, I've been, pre-COVID, I've been on podcasts every week and speaking and, on stages and doing sales rallies and conferences. And I've been in a battle and I chose it. It's my choice. I chose because of my deep, strong beliefs that selling is noble and that it is sacred. It's a spiritual practice. And I was finding people to battle with. And I was finding the people that were not interested in hearing what I had to say, to go like make them believe what I believe about salespeople because I believe it so much. And what's really funny is it was about, a week or so ago, I'm walking with my husband, who is this amazing sales trainer, and he's an author and speaker and very well known. And we're walking together, and we both start confiding in each other. And we're both saying, I don't think we need to, let's do what we do, but I don't think we need to be on stage anymore. And let's not go after podcasts, and let's not do, let's back down. We had to back down, but this is really nice. And let's just do what we do. And so we decided, and I decided, I'm only going to go and speak places that inspire people. I don't need to fight anybody anymore. Oh. I just want to go find the people that say, hey, Mary, you know what? I'm interested in hearing how sales can be sacred. I'm interested about that as a spiritual practice. And then Kim, guess what happens? I get this email from you. And I'm like, I have a podcast coming up 6 months ago. Like I had no idea. And I'm like, but I just declared to the universe, I'm not doing this anymore. And this comes up. And that's why I told you, I go to your page and I'm like, oh my God, like this is exactly where I want to be and who I want to be with. And this is amazing. So that's why I sent you this email. I'm like, you're weird and I like it. Good. So this sacred timing right now is really, really incredible for me. So I wanted to share that with you because this is really, when I say I'm excited and honored to be here, like I mean that from the depths of my soul. Like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mary, so... Okay, so real quick, to those who are with us live, let us know in the comments, what has Mary already said that resonates for you? Mary, just so you know, I love your approach to sales, and I'm going to be the first to say that has not always been my perspective of sales, and that's why I love that you stand for that. I love that you are here to shift that for so many of us, for the world, because for those who don't grow up with that reality, for those who grow up with that limiting perspective of sales, it's a challenge to go from, it really is. So if we have anybody with us today, let us know in the comments. Has that been something for you to overcome, is to really embrace sales? Or has that always been easy for you? I'd love to just, get a quick count. And Jason is with us saying selling is spiritual.
My sweet husband. There he is. Yes.
Awesome. And so, oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. That just,
it is, here's the thing. There are so many incredible, beautiful people that have gifts, they have services, they have products that they need to get out.
Yes.
And when they have those limiting beliefs about sales that, if I tell somebody, that's wrong. No, like you have to share that, and it's your right to do that. And it's the most honoring, most incredible thing you can do for somebody. And so when we can approach it that way, because right now, let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people out there that are very vocal and very good salespeople that have crap products and bad service. And I'm tired of them having all the skill set. I'm tired of them having the tactics.
Claiming it back. I love it. Reclaiming it. Okay. Okay, so selling is sacred, selling is spiritual. Share a little bit more about that with us. I get it. I've heard that. I see that, and it can be a real challenge to make that leap from having the perspective of the sleazy salesperson, right? Or I'm just going to throw out some of those phrases I can recall hearing. The con artist, right? No one wants to be the con artist, and yet if you have a gift, you have a service, and you have to sell it. How do you get from okay, I'm not a con artist to then what am I? Talk to us about how you get to the spiritual place about that.
Well, the first, just for yourself, is looking at that difference between persuasion and manipulation.
Oh,
I mean, it's the intention, and that's what's tricky about sales, is because a lot of it is the same, right? The technique that you're going to use, the way you're going to speak might be similar, but is the intention there that I have something that is going to improve somebody's life? And if you do, you need to share that. And if you don't, you need to shut up. Like, we need you to shut up. And so that manipulation is, I'm doing this for me, and persuasion is, I'm doing this because I know it's the right thing and I believe in it. And here's the thing. Most salespeople that I've worked with thousands and thousands of salespeople. Most of them truly believe, and they do have products that are really, really great for people. They stop themselves because of those limiting beliefs, because they were told, because they, heard, their parents or their roommates hanging up on people going, that's a salesperson, which, and they just stop that. But it's also because salespeople have done things to start this. I mean, one of the things, right, when somebody calls you, okay, Kim, if somebody calls you on the phone and they say, hey, Kim, don't worry, this isn't a sales call. What is it 100% of the time?
It's a sales call.
Exactly. And so when I start off a call, when I called somebody, cold calling, I'll just say, hey, it's Marshall Forrest. I'm calling from FPG, and I want you to know, don't worry. I want you to know that this is absolutely a sales call. And they do that, and they're like, what? And I'm like, but it's going to be the best one of your life. So you give me like 2 minutes, and I'm going to try to sell you. And I want 2 more minutes after that. And if you say no, I'll go away. But, we can have that radical transparency in what we're doing, believe in it, that people love it. We love people don't dislike salespeople. They dislike unethical, unhelpful, and boring salespeople.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Someone who's going to try to pull the wool over your eyes, try to sneak something in an underhanded way. I love that you're just being upfront about it and saying, yes, this is a sales call.
Yeah, you're going to love it. And if you don't, we'll go our separate ways, and you've laughed already, so we'll be fine. Everything.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about the phrase, making the hard sale? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Like being like a hard closer, like a hard salesperson. Like
yeah. Like when I think of that phrase, I think of the person who doesn't let up. So the person who like just constantly, like the person's already kind of said no, or maybe they've started to be silent, or they've, or just all these different ways that someone may try to say no without saying no. And someone keeps coming back and, do you hear what I'm trying to say? I'm getting a little feedback.
Absolutely. So I will say, in sales world, I'm on the assertive side more than not a soft salesperson. But here's why. And I think, sales is advanced communication. And so when we can say to somebody, and I think it's our job, when we're in the sales role, we need to be the leader in that relationship when we're the salesperson. And so one of the things that we can say to somebody is, so am I hearing you that this is not the right time? Am I hearing that this is definitely not right for you? Because because I'll be honest, if somebody doesn't tell me no, I'm calling back.
Okay.
But I'm also going to say, is this something that's not going to improve your life? Do you see that this could improve your life? And if they say, no, this really isn't going to improve my life. Okay, well then, thank you so much. I've enjoyed getting to know you. And do you know anybody that this could improve their life? So it's a job of the salesperson to clarify what's happening, because I don't want sometimes we're silent because we're like, oh, I don't want to buy this. And sometimes we're silent because we're deeply thinking about it.
True. Yes.
But it's our job to clarify. It's our job to make sure that we're truly understanding somebody.
That's awesome. We have Leo who's saying, I love those. There are objections that we need to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Okay. So So, what is your favorite thing about doing a sales call?
My favorite part, now this is just personal, is I love, when I'm on a sales call, I sell sales training and sales recruiting. So
Okay.
when I'm talking to somebody, I'm talking to a business owner. And this is somebody that has an artist who's created something, a visionary who has something they want to bring to the world. So my favorite part is truly understanding their product, understanding the company they've created, the culture that they have, so that I know how to go find the top salesperson that's going to be able to deliver their message, understand them authentically. And so for me, that just, when I'm talking to somebody, they're talking about what they're most passionate. They're talking about what they've spent, they've invested all their money in and 80 hours a week and, to create something. And so to me, that's just so beautiful. And when they're trusting me to train others to speak that to people, or to find people to share that message to their community, I mean, that's such an honor.
I love that. So again, anybody who's hearing something that just pops out at you, feel free to let us know in the comments, because I'm really curious how different people are responding to sales, especially at this time. There's so much going on. A lot of people's jobs are presently transitioning. And if you're not already good at sales, and this is the time to get better at it and learn more about it. What have you noticed, about all these, the pandemic and just all the career transitions people are going through right now? What are you noticing people most need to learn, or is most beneficial to them when it comes to being better at sales?
I would say, and I think this is probably across the board for all things, but really taking control of their own mental state. Because if, when you're selling a product or service to somebody, you need to be that container. You need to be the level of certainty. You need to be the one that's sharing and giving that certainty to somebody else. If you're going crazy, you can't do that. We cannot give to others what we don't have. So first is just making sure that you're grounded and you're taking the time to take care of yourself, to be grounded so you can go serve others. And if you know that you sell something, you have a business that serves others, then they still need it. And I think right now, the one mindset thing that people are getting in is, well, maybe, would it be rude or inconsiderate for me to call somebody right now? Absolutely not. That's a leash. That's a rule we put on ourselves. It's not true. Now, if you call somebody and they're breaking down and hurting, well, I mean, help them in that way. Don't,
Right.
Be a human, but get yourself grounded and so that you can still go and serve the community, because people still need services and products probably more than ever.
Right. Right. So for you as a leading sales industry executive, what do you do to ground your energy and make sure that you have a healthy mental mindset and all that?
Oh, that's good. So I have a plethora. I have one of my my mentors, Suzanne Raja, and she says, Mary, pleasure first. Always pleasure first. So take care of yourself first. And so, for me, and I'm very lucky that I have a husband that shares these rituals and commitments with me. We wake up at 4:30 in the morning so we can meditate, so we can ground, so we can walk together, so we can, and then he goes and lifts weights and I continue walking. So we can have that space together, connecting, but then also separate. That just goes, okay, this is my time to get myself in my space. I write and I journal. And then I also, at the end of the day, I am telling you right now, I am perfecting the art of the bath.
Oh,
come on. I mean,
how are you? Tell me more.
I have found the most delicious bath salts and oils, and I've got my candles and I put fresh flowers and it's a ritual. It's a ritual, but and that's maybe, I don't know, once a week or something like that.
Okay.
If I'm lucky, once a week. But all of these things that are taking care of myself, so that I have a team of people. I have people that I'm talking to every day, but where I'm seeing people get drained out is they're giving, giving, giving. And they're not taking care of themselves. And I do believe with my whole heart that the most selfless thing that you can do is be selfish. You've got to put you first. And it is okay to do that. Nobody's ever heard this. It is okay to do that. It's okay to take your bath. It's okay to turn your phone off. It's okay to like have some emails lined up. Other people might shame you for it, but that's okay. Like, you're okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you for shouting that out again. Self-care is key. Absolutely. And so we have Jason here saying sales is advanced communication, and that great sales professionals are a force for good. You two are amazing. I love, love, love. I love, love, love all the positivity that you're adding to sales, the whole perspective of it. So let's talk a little bit more about the leading edge of the sales industry. I particularly love that phrase. I do recognize the leading edge coming from another speaker. And I love the way that you've combined the two. And will you just talk? We've essentially already been talking about being on the leading edge and what helps you to be there. But will you share a little bit more specifically about what that means for you?
Yes, absolutely. So, one of the reasons I'm so happy to be here, and yes, I am a huge, huge fan of Abraham Hicks. When I just was given the CDs, 10 years ago, my life started to shift and change. And so what Jason and I do, we say we live on the fringe of society. So we are constantly, where can we learn and grow? Where's the next place? So, 2019, when you could travel, we were all over the world finding business, spiritual masters to go and study with and traveled the world with, to go and learn, to take what are these leading edge, what are the highest vibrational thoughts and energies. And then my space happens to be sales and sales recruiting. And so to me, it's that space shouldn't lack all of these other higher element teachings. And so what we have done is we go and study and then come back and bring that back to a corporate business world, into the sales world and the sales recruiting world. And Abraham we were going to go on the cruise. They all got canceled this year. We've been there many times. And so that's what I believe in. That's what I think, what I love to do. That's what we love. And now, and actually Jason wrote a book last year called The Mindset of a Sales Warrior. And it's 42 strategies. And each strategy is from teachings from somebody else. And we honor and talk about the person. It's very open. Like, this is where that came from. I, walked around with Marianne Williamson's, A Return to Love in my pocketbook for like 4 years. I said pocketbook. Who says that? Look at my grandmother. Sister Mary Marshall in her pocketbook. I don't know. In my handbag. That's cooler. But
Sure.
For 4 years. And now we have this like, okay, what did I learn from that I can take to sales? And that's a chapter in the book. And so there's many like that and that's leading edge to us. It's how do we take, we don't need to follow old sales trainers and just reteach what old sales trainers have done. We want to take what is the highest level of energy of teaching and bring it to sales.
That's what I hear is you're saying that, sure, you have this one piece of mindset advice that you're taking from someone that really resonated with you. And then you're taking a piece over here and then you're putting it all together and making it your own. And what that brings to mind for me right now is how you're also a behavioral change expert. And so that, infusing yourself into everything you've learned and then putting it out there. So talk to us a little bit more about that, because how did you become a behavioral change expert and with the sales industry? I love your unique combination. It's really exciting.
Well, the thing that most people would call me is that it would be a sales trainer. And most people use the word trainer. Trainer is an identity that I hold and have. But what's interesting about the word trainer is it means to change behavior. But most training doesn't. And something that's really interesting is there's actually, okay, what's the number? It's $164 billion every year is spent on training, and 70% of it fails. That's sad. That's awful.
Okay, is the 70% because of lack of implementation?
Correct. They're not actually changing behavior. There's no,
Okay.
they're teaching something, but it's just like, if you go to a school and you're just like, here it is, and then you leave, you're not practicing and holding people accountable, then it just goes away. And they're not working on how do we, okay, well, one is the knowledge, but also it's not just that you can tell me how to go sell, but if I believe sales is sleazy, I'm not going to do it no matter what, because I'm now in this word to be a double bind. I'm now in a bind, a therapeutic double bind, which means I have to decide whether I'm going to let go of my belief system or not. And we never let go of our beliefs. So if I think sales is sleazy, I'm going to sabotage myself to keep my identity of not being sleazy. So knowing that part of it. So I've done a lot of study on different coaching courses. I think a couple that have been the most impactful for me is I am board certified of master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming.
Nice.
And going through my accelerated evolution training right now on those processes. Because to me, it's also, we got to be able to change fast. Otherwise.
Yes. So how do you get to that place? Here's the thing. I know you said you watched a few other episodes. I try to ask questions that go deeper and deeper and deeper. So in some ways I'm kind of asking the same question and you've already answered it, but I'm trying to make the connection between, so people are typically hanging on to their limiting beliefs. And yet that's the thing that's in their way, that boundary between, what they have to sell and actually making the sale. So then how do you get them to relax and say, it's actually safe for me to release this or change this or, transform this? How do you get them to that place where they know it's okay and they actually change their behavior and their mindset to take action?
Yeah. So good. Perfect question. So the first is helping them to have awareness that there is a limiting belief there. So we can't change if we don't know it. We can't change if we don't want to change. So if I can help them to see if there is a limiting belief. So for instance, there's an assessment that I use called the SPQ. One of the things that it measures is yielding tendencies. Yielding is when somebody says, I need to think about it, I need to pray about it, I need to sleep on it. And I go, no, you just call me when you're ready. I'm out. And now here's the thing. Yielding has this beautiful positive intention. And that positive intention is, I don't want to intrude on somebody else's free will. I want to help them. I want to honor them as a human being and let them make their own choice. And so what I want to do when I'm doing behavior change is I never want to combat somebody. I don't want to go to them and say, that's the wrong, let me tell you what to do.
Oh, love that. What
I want to do is I want to first just take a moment and honor the positive intention they have behind it. So go, oh, so tell me you're wanting to give them space and maybe they're older than you. So you're respecting your elders. Thank you for doing that. And you're really caring about them as a person. Good. Perfect. And so your ultimate intention is to help them. Okay, good. So now I understand. Now we're in rapport. Now I understand what they're wanting to do. And now at that point I can say, okay, so now I know their highest intention is I want to help. I want to help and be of service. Okay. So now I can now shift that and say, now, if they go and purchase your competitor that is doing this, is that going to harm them? Like, what's the difference? Are you really better than them? Like, tell me about it. Are you really better? And if they go, no, I really am the better option for these reasons, then with that rapport of helping, I can help them see, okay, well, the best thing you can do to help them is to call them one more time. Is to share that message with them. Have you told them that? And if you have, and the person says, I hear you, I really don't want it, leave me alone. Okay, that's fine. But we need to make sure we're sharing. And so we want to connect on the highest intention that they have. And then shift it to a behavior that more accurately matches and is going to give them the result that they want. And now we can shift because we're not in a fight with each other. We are together finding a way to best serve other people.
Can you say that one more time? Because I feel like that's a formula. This plus this equals that.
Yeah. So what you want to do is have awareness of the leash, number one. Number two is, what is the positive intention behind it?
Okay.
Look at my husband's writing this thing. He knows he's psychic. He like knows what I'm saying. We're very connected. So you want to know the positive intention. And here's one of the beliefs I have is every single action a person has, there's a positive intention. Every action. And I could go very extreme with this, but I believe we only act from a place of positive intention. So you find that out, and then you shift and realign that positive intention to a behavior that will satisfy it. Because people get in a loop all the time. They think, I'm not making sales. And you go, well, are you following up? Are you doing this? Well, no, I'm not following. I'm not going to call them again. I'm not going to annoy them. Okay, but because I want to help them. So all you have to do is show them, well, wait, helping them is calling them one more time. So just change the behavior. And now I'm not asking anybody to change who they are, what they believe, because I believe I can't tell somebody how to do that. I believe they're the most beautiful and creative and incredible on their own. And they should never listen to me or anybody else on how to be. But if I can give you a little bit of a tweak and a tactical behavior to get you there, well, now we're winning together.
Okay.
I do that sound all the time too. So I love every time you do that.
I do. I really love it. That's good that you're a sales trainer, because I can just imagine people sitting there just like absorbing and soaking this up and really loving it. So awesome. And we have kudos here from Leo again. He's saying the FPG training works amazingly. Since we have embraced it, I've seen the difference in my team's performance. Can't wait for the follow-up training to start next week. Awesome.
So thank you, Leo. That's so good. Thank you.
Let me ask you a quick question. Are you getting any audio feedback on your end?
I am not.
You're not? Okay. We're good. We're good. It's very minor on my end. No big deal. Okay. So now I'm curious, do you notice that there are common limiting beliefs that people have related to sales, and what are some of those?
Yeah. So one we brought up, it was just, sales is sleazy. And so I like hide it. So like, I might say I'm like a relationship manager, or, or I'm something else. I'm a realtor. I'm a broker. I change the name and I take sales out of what I do. So one is it's just the overarching that sales is not a noble profession. So that would be kind of number one. The other ones that I see, well, right now what's coming up, here's something interesting. One of the limiting beliefs that comes up is I can't sell online or virtually. And now that hasn't really been a big deal until now, because so much is happening virtually. In fact, and the assessment I use, and we use when we're recruiting people, it's one of the things that it looks for, but I've never really, it's always been like, okay, it's there, but it doesn't really affect anything, but now it does. So one is do I feel and when I talk about a limiting belief or a leash, what I mean is any situation where I feel less bold. So I might still be okay. I might still do it, but I feel a little less bold about it. So online is one that's very big right now. Another one that comes up is something that we call social self-conscious. And that means I'm really comfortable unless you're older than me, then you're more educated than me, you're wealthier than me. And now I feel like, oh, you know what? Who am I to tell you? And we forget, no, as a salesperson, you're the expert on what you sell. You're the expert. So it doesn't matter if they're older than you. It doesn't matter if you're, if they have more education, if they have an engineering degree and you're not selling engineering stuff, that's okay. You're the expert in this area. And so just reminding people that like, we're all the same. We're all the same. So those are the other big ones that I see come up.
That's awesome. And I love that you bring in just that social sales aspect, because I think that happens for a lot of people. You might feel confident with people who are, yes, either younger than you, or maybe people who know nothing about, maybe they know nothing about what it is that you have to sell. I just hit something on the side here.
Times from
exactly. Could you hear that?
I liked it.
So that can seem easier to sell to people who, maybe somehow you're like, I can claim my role, my title, my place as the expert on this subject matter. But anybody else who, they might know something more, or who am I? It just presents a whole new layer for people to work through. So we have a lot of people here with us today, and I just want to actually just acknowledge everyone that's here right now. If you're resonating with some of these limiting beliefs that Mary has shared, or maybe some others she hasn't talked about, and you're thinking, this is really helpful. I need to hear this right now. And maybe you're too shy to even comment. That's okay. I literally just want to say, I'm glad that you're here, and it's okay. And I hope that you receive whatever comes through as your message today to support you in being able to sell more. And if there's something you want to share with us in the comments, then we would love to hear that from you. And if not, that is totally fine too. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I know it can be intimidating to share publicly where we are at with some of those things. I totally get that. Did you have something you wanted to add to that?
No, I just love that. And it was just reminding me of, in sharing with you about the divine timing I believe that today has. It's funny because I went back and forth in my head a couple of times today. I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that I didn't really want to be on podcast anymore. Maybe that's not the right thing to say. But what I recognized was, whoa, that's just my own insecurity and my own place of, hey, if I go on somewhere, I'm labeled as an expert. So should I be an expert in all areas? Here I am. Or, is it okay to come on and say, hey, I'm going through some transitions and I'm looking at things in new ways, and I'm not really sure, I'm not really sure about everything right now. But I know this. I know this one thing really well, but these other things are going on. And so also I just want to leave that out for people too, that if you do have a question, I'd be honored to be able to answer it and help you if you're in a place of pain. And to me, I get on a soapbox about this a little bit, because in my first sales job, which is actually, it was really fundraising. I was a telemarketer. So I called 100 people a night and asked them for money.
Wow.
Yeah, that was me. And every day, and I did it because I worked on campus, and it was the highest paid on campus job. And I didn't have a car to work anywhere else. And so I did the job, but my stomach was in knots every day. I was sick before going into work. I would just pray. I'd dial the phone and I would just pray. And it was actual phones like this back then. And I didn't have a headset. And I would just be there and be like, please, baby Jesus, do not let them answer the phone. And I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to interrupt their day. I don't want this. Oh, I just felt awful. And I believe that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because I lived in this pain and this sickness for so long until my mindset was changed. And it's, what other people saw was Mary went from middle of the road to breaking sales records. But
wow.
What Mary felt was, oh, I slept through the night really beautifully. And I was able to pay attention in class, and I felt really good. And when I went to work, I had these really beautiful conversations with people, and some of them donated and some of them didn't. And it didn't really matter, because I was just there to be with them and to be present with somebody else. And I just so happened to raise a ton of money, but that's what other people saw. For me, it was my feelings. So I get the leashes. I get the uncomfortability of it.
So was there a key turning point for you of when you got to that place where it was easy to do 100 calls a night or just make any telemarketer call?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So I got to the end of my first semester, and we were sitting at the end of the semester awards banquet, which I did not know there was going to be an awards banquet. I'm very awards driven, so I would have done better if I had known. They should have led with that on day one. So I go there, and I'm sitting in the back at this cheeseburger place, and I'm watching all these people get awards. But there's this one guy, and it's this guy named Anthony. And Anthony is winning every award. He's got the most donations, the highest donations, the most upsells, blah, 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 everything. And at that moment, what came up for me was, when I was surprised by it, is I thought, but Anthony's such a good guy. He's a really good person. So how is he doing so well at this job? And so I went up to him and I was just like, hey, and he didn't really know who I was. I mean, I was like, nobody. And so I went up to him like, hey, I'm wondering, Anthony, what do you think about when you're calling people at night? And he was like, oh, I'd love to tell you about that. He was very animated. He was like, well, I think about the fact that, and we were getting donations for a school. So he said, I think about the fact that their family and friends, they're sick of hearing their stories, but I'm not. I'm thinking that they're super wealthy and they're doing really well and they want to donate back, but it's on their to-do list, and I can just take it off their to-do list really fast. And I can do that for them. And I think about the fact that that they want to know what's going on with the organizations they were involved with in school, and I know that, so I can give them that information, let them know how their legacies lived on. And I was like, oh, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, every call I'm going to interrupt somebody. They probably just sat down for dinner. What if they lost their job and I'm some snotty nosed kid calling and asking them for money and they have to tell me no? Like, how they're going to feel shame? Or what if they're with a child that has special needs and that child is opening up in a new way and I'm interrupting? I went really, really out there on crazy ideas. And so it was that moment. Now, it wasn't great the next day, but I just chose to, what if I believe the way Anthony believed? He looks like he's happy and he's successful. Like, I might as well try that.
Okay, that was beautiful. That right there was a massive tip for everybody to just start to think about the different side of what ifs. Because I totally agree. I've had the same ones, about like, well, what if I'm, interrupting, or what if this, or what if that? And that is such a beautiful way to look at it instead. That is, okay, love that. Okay, so I want to ask you, what does it mean? Again, we're talking about all the same thing from just different questions and angles, but now I want to specifically ask you, what does it mean to place extreme focus on pulling the future of sales into the present? Do you have something more to say about that?
Yeah, that's a deep question there, Kim.
Thank you.
We're evolving, right now. Look at the consciousness of everybody. Look at the unveiling. One of the things that I love is now we can go and we can be actively a member of any spiritual organization, any church out there. And so what we've been enjoying with my family is joining Dr. Michael Beckwith's church on Sunday mornings. So we've never been, I'm in Texas. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. That church, Agape is in LA. And so I get to participate in that. And he said something really incredible the other day, which was, and talking about this time of this unveiling for everybody. We're now in so much more awareness.
Yes.
We have awareness of things that we never had. And we're all in this space where we're being unveiled together in different ways. And so for me in sales, it's looking at that. How can we now be of even more service? How can we be more creative? How can we, open up? And honestly, that's what we've been doing. I mean, Jason and I said, we're going to put even more on to recruiting right now, because look at, we have a training business and a recruiting business, sales recruiting business. But right now, people are looking for positions, right? People need jobs.
Yeah.
I would love to help find that. The companies are going, I would like to expand, help us find people. And so it's that shifting as we're all unveiling, we're all coming into this together. It's recognizing that we can be everything. We can be everything. There are not either ors. It's not a sleazy, great salesperson or a really awesome bad salesperson, but you're a great human being. There's no either ors anymore. There's no either ors. And right now we're in Pride Month. There's no either ors. We're looking at the racial as we're coming together. I'm so proud of my city of Fort Worth, is that we have had some of the most peaceful, beautiful, our head chief of police marching with Black Lives Matters.
Oh, wow.
Holding each other, conversations. I mean, it's just, I'm so proud of my city. But we're getting rid of the lines. Yeah. We're getting rid of our tribalism. We're in this place of recognizing that we're all together. Now, with that, it's time to be bold. With that, it's not time to sit back and just observe it. It's time to be bold and to lean into that and to realize, because we're all one, because these divides are gone, let's now support each other. Let's now let me be bold in going and talking to you about the ways that I might be able to help you. Let me with open ears listen to how you can help me. Let me with open ears hear the type of person that you can best serve. So right now, and there's so much, networking has changed. One of my favorite things is networking. And I think what I always share with people is mine, because networking is another one of those things people hate, people get uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. I get it. So people hate it. And so I talk about all the stuff that people hate. I'm realizing that at this moment.
But you're adding so much light to it, and it makes it really like, ooh, there's hope.
Let's love in this. Let's love for this discomfort. So, in a networking thing, I always say, go up to somebody and say, you know what? And this is, I just say, this is my pitch because this is my heart. This is what I believe. And this is how I want to go and serve. And I go into, but it also serves me. So this is not completely, this is because in just serving others and not serving myself doesn't serve the community either. Right. So if I go up, I would come up to you, Kim, and if I saw you at a networking event or a virtual networking event, and I'd say, Kim, hi, my name's Mary Marshall, and I just want to let you know that I'm somebody that loves building community, and I love connecting people that need to do business together. So I'm curious, who can you best serve? And I'm just going to listen with an open heart and open ears, and I'll let you know if I know that person. I'm going to introduce you right now. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be of that service to other businesses because I am, people see this as a difference too. I'm highly spiritual, I hope, and I try to stay as grounded as I can, but I'm very much a capitalist as well, which sometimes feels shaky for people, again, things that people don't like. But at the same time, I know, Kim, when I say that to you, you're going to respond with the same thing. You're going to say, Mary, who can you best serve?
Yes.
You're going to. And now it's not about my business and your business. How many people can I get? How many cards can I get? It's about how can we together go and find the right people and serve them the best way that we can. And that's the future of sales. That's where we're going. And with using really smart tactical, I'll tell you, I told you earlier that I've been binge watching you. Something that resonated with me was from our friend. I say our friend, I don't know him, but Modern Jared. I feel like I know him. With Jared, how funny is he?
It was great. Yes.
Watch that one too. When you get done watching this, go watch Jared.
Thanks,
so he said something, and he for people to know, he's a dating relationship attraction.
Yes.
So he said something which I thought, which just resonated with me, and I said, this makes sense with what I do. Is people always think about the art of it, the art of romance, the art of attraction. It should all just be in flow and art and all of this. And people think that about sales too. Like, don't tell me a script. Don't tell me what to do, because if you do, it takes away from my heart. Like, no, it doesn't. It's just telling you a better way. So know your science, and then add your art and do that with attraction. I'm not Jared, so I don't know how to tell you to do that, but do that with your attraction and do that with your sales. And so, for instance, forever people said, start a conversation or start your sales pitch with an open-ended question. Well, here's the deal, Kim. Okay, I've lived in Fort Worth for 19 years. I eat dinner every day, but if my husband, and he never do this, but if he were to come to me and say, like, what do you want to do for dinner? All of a sudden, I have no idea. It's an open-ended question, and I eat every day. So people don't buy your product every day. So when you ask them, what are you looking for? They're like, I don't know. They can't answer. But if my amazing husband comes to me and says, Mary, would you like sushi or steak or Mexican for dinner? I can come up with it. So the science is when you're approaching somebody, when you're having that sales conversation, give them, we call it triple bind. Give them 3 options. That way they feel big, they feel strong, they can win. You can move the conversation forward, and you don't put them in a position where they go, I don't know. I mean, and they feel stupid. So those are the science things. And then make your triple bind, your 3 options, get creative, put your art on it, but follow the science so that you can add your art and not bomb with it.
Mary, if this is the last podcast or live show that you do, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the Every Day is a New Day show and sharing your expertise with us today, because I really think that this is information and perspective that so many people in our world need today. I personally am very grateful for hearing you share everything you have today. For those that have been with us, we still have a few more minutes, but I really just want to make a point to say this. So for those that are with us, let us know in the comments, what are you taking away from this conversation? Mary, you are a beautiful example of someone who is both grounded and very spiritual, and living in your truth and the science and flow of all of it. That is what I see. And so I just wanted to speak to that because I know you mentioned that a moment ago. And just a beautiful example of how someone can do it, because I think there is a lot of either or perspective. And so anyway, so thank you for doing what you do. Where can you go where can people go so they can connect with you and learn more about what you do and stay connected with you that way?
Yes. So they can on Facebook at Mary Marshall Forrest. Our website's super easy. It's fpg.com. And then also we do have, we are doing for shipping, but free book of the mindset book. So it's warriormindsetbook.com. And you can go there. It's like, if you're in the United States, like $7 for shipping or something. But, if you're out of the United States, a little bit more, but you can get that book. And it's just mindset. It's taking our Abraham Hicks and our Marianne Williamsons, and then other people that are on the business side as well, but all of them, and putting it together on how to have that mindset. So those would be the places to find me. And I would love to connect and stay in contact with everyone.
Awesome. And hello to Jack. Jack joined us and gave a quick little hello there. So thank you for being with us, Jack. Mary, as we wrap up, what does the future of sales look like to you? Where do you see us all? What do you see coming down the pipeline for people? How things are transitioning?
I see. Well, first, I want to talk about the sales management. I think that's the hub of it.
Okay.
See sales management changing to a place that's less about reports, that's less on the management side and more on coaching. I think we're moving into a world that is wanting coaching. Our millennials especially want coaching. We want coaching. And so what is being called for from our salespeople into our sales managers is to be coaches. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think with that, we're going to have more people that are rising up, that are being more successful. There's so many more opportunities right now. In the past, it's been, we have more people that are in sales than any other profession in the world. More people in sales. And 80% of salespeople quit or are fired in their first year. And I see that changing. And I see it because we're going to go in with open eyes. We're going to go in with open hearts and open ears. I'm seeing right now on the recruiting side, there are so many incredible people that are unleashed, that are highly motivated, that are goal-oriented, that are wanting to go and work hard and share vision and mission of a company, that I see this really beautiful place. And I see this shift in the way that we perceive salespeople. I see a future where they walk around going, I'm a salesperson. It says salesperson on the business card, and we introduce ourselves as a salesperson. I see that.
I love that. And Jason chimed in, never ask your wife or girlfriend or partner, what do you want to eat tonight? That was great.
Don't do that.
That's awesome. Okay, Mary, one more time, where can people go to connect with you online?
Yep, they can go to fpg.com. That's for Forrest Performance Group. Or they can go to Facebook at Mary Marshall Forrest. And LinkedIn is Mary Marshall Forrest as well.
Awesome. Mary, thank you so much for being here tonight and sharing your expertise. Absolutely loved it. And am really grateful for getting to hear all your expertise today.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been a blast.
Likewise. Well, okay, Mary, stay right there. To everyone who was with us, whether you're live or on the replay, again, let us know what you're taking away tonight. And I just want to say, wherever you are in this, if you're someone who's already experiencing, an abundance of sales and having success in that arena, or maybe you're on the complete opposite end and it's time to change your limiting beliefs about it, I hope this conversation has been helpful to you, opening that door. And I would say definitely listen again. There were so many nuggets, Mary, seriously, so many nuggets. I don't know if you realize that. So many nuggets that Mary shared tonight of just simple little things that you could start to apply to your mindset today. And I have total faith that those are going to work just beautiful ways for all of us to increase how we view sales, increase the amount of sales we get, and just feeling better, knowing that we are all of it and it's okay to be transparent, like Mary was even sharing. I love all of it. So with that said, remember, every day is always a new day. Wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. And wherever you were yesterday does not have to be where you are today. And it's all about making that choice, and mindset is a huge, huge piece of it. So I love today's conversation. I look forward to connecting with you all again next week for another awesome show, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye everybody.
And that's today's show. So, what are you taking away? Let me know down in the comments wherever you listened or watched today's episode, and connect with me on Facebook on the Everyday is a New Day show and coaching page, or visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com for more info. Remember, every day is always a new day. Wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. There is always hope, and you will always be amazing. I'll see you next time.